Imagine this. Waking up on a Tuesday morning, not to a jarring alarm, but, to the natural light filtering through the window.
Hmm.
No frantic commute, no endless to-do lists from the boss. Instead, you have the entire day stretching before you for that passion project, maybe, or family time, or just exploring.
Sounds ideal.
For many, that's not just a daydream, it's the powerful, achievable dream of early retirement. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where our mission is to unpack complex topics and make them clear, actionable, and genuinely insightful for you. Today, we're plunging into a subject incredibly important for anyone envisioning that future: financial well-being, and specifically, charting a clear path to early retirement right here in the UK. And as part of the Plouta team, we're thrilled to introduce you to Plouta, your go-to financial well-being hub.
Yeah, and our core mission at Plouta is pretty simple, really.
It is.
It's about empowering you with clear, trustworthy financial insights, helping you achieve true financial freedom.
We firmly believe everyone deserves access to reliable guidance, and we're here to make that complex financial journey straightforward, transparent, and uniquely tailored to your life.
It truly is a powerful mission. And today's deep dive into early retirement is directly based on Plouta's insightful guide, UK Early Retirement, a pension planning guide.
That's right.
We've sort of distilled it down to the essential strategies, the critical numbers, and the most impactful nuggets of knowledge you absolutely need to know.
Now, before we really get into the specifics, a quick but crucial note, and one we at Plouta always emphasize.
Yes, very important.
This deep dive provides general information. It's for informational and educational purposes only, okay? Based on rules known as of June 2025, the value of investments can go down as well as up, and tax and pension laws are complex. They're subject to change.
Definitely.
So this does not constitute financial advice. Always, always seek professional, regulated financial advice tailored to your specific circumstances before making any significant retirement decisions.
Absolutely. Your financial journey is unique, and personalized advice is paramount.
Couldn't agree more.
Our goal today is really just to cut through the noise, help you truly understand the realities of early retirement in the UK.
Yeah.
We'll cover how to estimate how much you might need, explore effective strategies to, well, supercharge your savings, demystify the rules around accessing your pension, and, crucially, how to bridge any financial gaps until your state pension eventually begins.
It's about saving smarter, not just more, right?
Exactly. Saving smarter, not just endlessly more, to reach that goal.
Okay, let's unpack the reality check then. Retiring early isn't just about clocking out sooner. It fundamentally reshapes your entire financial equation. It introduces some significant considerations
Absolutely.
that you absolutely need to factor in. What are the core shifts we need to be aware of?
Okay, well, a key takeaway here is understanding the profound impact of time. Firstly, if you decide to retire at, say, 57 instead of the typical 67,
Right.
your pension pot suddenly needs to last a full decade longer.
Wow, yeah.
That's an extra 10 years. Your savings are solely responsible for supporting your lifestyle. This immediately raises an important question. How does that extended lifespan affect the total size of the financial pot you'll realistically need?
And it's not just about drawing down for longer, is it? There's also the flip side of lost opportunity, particularly when it comes to compounding.
Exactly. That's the other side of the coin. Every single year, you're not actively working and contributing. You're missing out on the power of compound growth. Instead of your investments being consistently topped up and sort of snowballing, they're now being drawn down. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it means you're effectively fighting against the clock for growth while simultaneously needing your existing money to stretch significantly further.
It's a bit of a double whammy if you don't plan for it.
It can be, yeah. Needs careful thought.
Plus, that much-anticipated state pension isn't going to just magically kick in the moment you decide to retire, right?
No, that's a critical point for UK early retirees. You won't receive your state pension until your official state pension age. Currently, that's 66.
Okay.
And it's actually rising to 67 for many by 2028.
Right.
So you'll need to fund your entire lifestyle entirely from your private savings during that period, creating what we call a gap that needs careful bridging.
And that gap could be 10 years, potentially more.
Easily. It's not insignificant. You're fully reliant on your own pot during that time.
Okay, so this is often the million-dollar question, sometimes literally. How do you even begin to figure out that critical magic number for early retirement? It can feel like pulling a figure out of thin air.
It can feel daunting, I agree. But the good news is there's a clear, structured approach.
Yeah.
And no, there isn't one single magic number that applies to everyone,
Right.
because it's entirely dependent on your desired lifestyle. Plauta's guide outlines a clear, step-by-step methodology to personalize this.
So step one sounds a lot like getting a proper grip on your spending, budgeting.
It absolutely does, and it's foundational. You start by defining your desired annual income in retirement.
Okay.
This means creating a truly detailed budget for your ideal retirement lifestyle.
Now,
Be ruthlessly realistic, accounting for everything from essential bills like council tax and utilities to your desired spending on hobbies, travel, dining out, even gifting. A really useful framework here are the PLSA Retirement Living Standards.
Ah, yes, the Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association.
That's the one. They offer benchmarks for what different levels of retirement lifestyle, minimum, moderate, comfortable, might realistically cost you annually.
Gives you a good starting point.
A fantastic starting point for your own personalized budget, definitely.
And then once you have that annual number, many people hear about the famous 25X rule. What exactly is that, and, well, how reliable is it?
Yes, the 25X rule. It's a common guideline often popularized by the FIRE Community Financial Independence, Retire Early. It's based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. The idea is that if you can safely withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio each year, it should theoretically last for 30 years or more, historically speaking, adjusting for inflation.
Okay, makes sense.
So the calculation is simple. You multiply your desired annual income by 25 to get a rough estimate of the pension pot you'll need.
So, for example, if you want 40,000 pounds a year.
Your target pot would be £1 million. Multiply by 25.
Wow. That sounds like a huge number for many, and you mentioned it's a guideline. What are the caveats here? What do people need to watch out for?
Yeah, it's crucial to understand this is a guideline only. It's a useful rule of thumb, but not a guarantee.
Okay.
You may need a significantly larger pot if you're planning to retire very early, say in your 40s or early 50s, because your money needs to last even longer than that typical 30-year time frame.
Right, makes sense.
And some might prefer a more cautious withdrawal rate, perhaps 3.5% or even 3.3%, which would mean a higher X rule like 28X or 30X your annual income.
So it comes down to personal risk tolerance, too.
Exactly. This raises an important question for you, the listener. What level of withdrawal rate feels most comfortable for your personal risk tolerance and peace of mind?
And finally, after calculating that big number, you then factor in other existing income and assets you might have, right?
Precisely. Step 3 is to subtract any other expected income streams, maybe rental income from a property, or income from a planned part-time role, or the value of existing tax-advantaged accounts like your ISAs.
Got it.
And absolutely crucially, don't forget to factor in your state pension. It will eventually provide a significant inflation-linked income boost later on.
Which often reduces the amount you need from your private pot in those later years.
Exactly. It makes a big difference to the overall calculation.
So you've got your magic number, or at least a very good estimate. Now comes the real work. How do you actually build that pot faster? This is where the rubber hits the road for most people, isn't it?
This really is the core strategy, the practical application. To reach your early retirement goal, the guide emphasizes you need to save aggressively, yes, but also incredibly efficiently.
Okay, let's talk strategies. Maximizing workplace pensions seems like the ultimate no-brainer, but what's the real power here?
It's non-negotiable, really. If your employer offers a pension scheme, you absolutely must contribute at least enough to get the full employer match.
Because that's free money.
It's essentially free money, a guaranteed 100% return on your contribution immediately. Beyond the match, if you can afford it, increasing those contributions further is one of the most powerful steps.
And things like salary sacrifice.
Yes. If offered, salary sacrifice is fantastic. Contributions come from your gross pay before tax, giving immediate tax relief and often saving on national insurance, too. It's like giving your future self a direct pay rise.
Okay, so workplace pension first. Then there's the power of ISAs, particularly stocks and shares ISAs. These seem crucial for early retirement.
Your stocks and shares ISA is truly your best friend for early retirement planning, especially for bridging that gap we talked about.
Why specifically?
Think of it as your immediate access fund. All growth, capital gains, dividends, it's all completely tax-free, forever. And here's the critical part. Unlike a pension, you can access your ISA funds at any age without penalty.
Ah, that's the key difference.
Exactly. This makes it the ideal vehicle for bridging that financial gap between your early retirement date and when your pension becomes accessible, typically age 57 now.
So you use the ISA first.
Many early retirees strategically use their ISA funds first, aiming to build up a substantial pot there, perhaps maxing it out each year before focusing more heavily on pensions. The current annual allowance is a generous £20,000. Utilizing that fully each year, if possible, is paramount.
And for those who want even more control over their investments, or perhaps are self-employed, SIPPs offer a different path.
They do. A SIPP, or self-invested personal pension, gives you unparalleled control and a really wide investment choice. You could use it to supplement your workplace pension,
Right.
or as your main vehicle if you're self-employed. And like a workplace pension, you benefit from generous tax relief on your contributions.
So basic rate taxpayers get that 20% top-up.
Yeah, every 80 pounds you put in becomes 100 pounds in your SIPP.
Yeah.
Higher rate taxpayers can claim even more back through self-assessment. It's a powerful tool, but remember, same accessibility rules as other pensions, typically not before age 57.
Okay. So beyond choosing the right accounts, workplace pension, ISA, maybe SIPP, what's the simple, hard truth about truly building that pot quickly? It boils down to one thing, doesn't it?
It really boils down to increasing your savings rate.
Yeah.
It's the disciplined truth.
Yeah.
Often gets overlooked in favor of complex investment strategies, but you need to consistently save a significant portion of your income, often 20%, 30%, maybe even more.
How do people even get there?
Well, it frequently starts with a deep dive into your lifestyle creep, those small, unconscious increases in spending as your income rises. Identifying and reallocating even a few £100s a month from discretionary spending can dramatically shave years off your working life. Automate savings, track expenses meticulously, reevaluate subscriptions.
Small changes add up.
Big time. Small changes add up to big gains over time.
And finally, making sure that hard-earned money isn't just sitting there idly in cash.
Exactly. You need your money working hard for you, especially for a long-term goal like early retirement. Leaving it in cash, you're fighting a losing battle against inflation.
So investing is key.
Absolutely. A well-diversified portfolio, particularly one with a strong allocation to global equity index funds within your pension and ISA, offers the best potential for the inflation-beating growth required.
Why equity specifically?
Because historically, over long periods, 10 years plus, they've consistently outperformed other asset classes like bonds or cash. It gives your money the best shot at outrunning inflation and actually growing your wealth significantly.
Right, makes sense for the long term. So you've followed the plan, you've diligently built this amazing pot. When can you actually get your hands on it? The rules around pension access in the UK seem to be a bit of a moving target.
This is a crucial point for planning, yes, and the rules are shifting. Under current UK law, you can generally access private and workplace pensions from age 55. However,
There's a but.
there's a but. The guide clearly highlights an important upcoming change. The minimum pension age is set to rise to 57 from April 6, 2028.
Okay, 2028. So for most people actively planning their early retirement now, it really means 57 is the earliest they should be banking on.
That's absolutely correct. For anyone planning early retirement in the near future, especially looking beyond 2028, age 57 is the earliest you'll likely be able to touch those pension savings.
It's a key date to mark in the calendar.
Definitely. And a good reminder that financial planning isn't a one-off, it's an ongoing process as rules change.
So true. And once you do reach that age, 57, and access it, what are the standard rules for taking money out?
Generally, the standard rule allows you to take up to 25% of your pension pot as a tax-free lump sum.
The tax-free cash.
Exactly. The remaining 75% can then be used to provide a taxable income. You essentially have two main ways to do this, either through flexible drawdown.
Where it stays invested.
Right, stays invested and you take income as needed. Or by purchasing an annuity, buying a guaranteed income for life from an insurance company.
Very different options.
Very different implications for income security and flexibility. A big decision, usually needing advice.
Okay. Now, this feels like one of the biggest challenges, maybe psychological as well as financial, for early retirees, that potentially a long gap between accessing private pensions at 57 and the state pension actually starting.
It truly is. And it's where careful planning becomes absolutely paramount. If you retire at 57, like we said, you could face a 10-year gap until your state pension starts at 67.
A full decade.
A full decade you need to fund entirely from your personal resources. This raises that important question. How do you strategically fund those years without depleting your main retirement pot too quickly?
And this is precisely where the ISAs come back into play, isn't it? They're critical for this bridging strategy.
Absolutely critical. This is where your stocks and shares ISAs truly shine as your bridge to state pension.
Because you can access them anytime, tax-free.
Exactly. You can draw an income from your ISA completely tax-free and at any age. The most common and often recommended strategy involves using your ISA funds to live on during those initial retirement years, say 57 to 67.
Right.
This allows your main pension pot to remain invested, hopefully continuing to benefit from compound growth for longer, before you even start drawing from it.
It's a pension pot preservation strategy.
Precisely. It can make a significant difference to the longevity of your overall funds.
Okay, smart. So once you do start drawing from your taxable pension pot, maybe after the ISA bridge or alongside it, it's not just about how much you take out, but how smartly you do it to minimize your tax bill.
Precisely. Smart, tax-efficient planning is key to making your retirement income last significantly longer. Tax can be a huge drag if you're not careful.
So starting with the basics, your personal allowance, what's the strategy there?
Everyone in the UK has a tax-free personal allowance, which for 2025-26 is £12,570.
Okay.
The goal is simple. Aim to draw at least this much income from your taxable pensions each year to ensure you're fully utilizing this allowance. Don't waste it.
Makes sense. It's tax-free money.
It's the lowest hanging fruit for tax savings. Make every pound work efficiently.
And beyond that allowance, what about trying to stay within the basic rate tax band?
Yes, if at all possible, try to keep your total annual income from all sources, pensions, part-time work, whatever, below the higher rate tax threshold.
Which is currently?
Currently £50,270. By staying within the basic rate band, paying 20% tax, you avoid paying 40% tax on your withdrawals.
Which keeps a lot more of your hard-earned money in your pocket.
Exactly. It takes discipline, maybe drawing slightly less some years, but the tax savings over retirement can be substantial.
What about those lumpy expenses that inevitably pop up? You know, a new car, a big house repair, maybe that dream holiday that requires a large sum. How do you handle those without getting hit by a huge tax bill from your pension?
This is where the ISA provides incredible flexibility again. It's fascinating how useful it is.
Right.
If you need a substantial sum for something like a new car, a major home renovation, or that once-in-a-lifetime trip, consider taking it from your ISA.
Because it's tax-free.
Because withdrawals from your ISA are completely tax-free, unlike making a large, potentially highly taxed withdrawal from your pension in one go. It's a strategic way to manage your cash flow for big items without being penalized by the tax system.
Smart. And for those in a partnership or marriage, thinking about your spouse's financial position can also be a game changer for tax efficiency, can it?
Absolutely. This is often overlooked. If your spouse has a lower income, or perhaps hasn't started drawing their pension yet, you can strategically structure withdrawals between you. The goal is to utilize both of your personal allowances and both of your basic rate tax bands efficiently.
So coordinating who takes what and when.
Exactly. It might mean one person draws up to their personal allowance,
Yeah.
the other takes a bit more into the basic rate, minimizing the overall household tax burden. This raises an important question for you, the listener. How can you collaborate effectively with your partner on this journey to create a combined, optimized retirement income strategy?
Really good point. Okay, this deep dive has truly shown us that retiring early isn't just an ambitious dream, it's an absolutely achievable goal
It is.
for those who are disciplined, proactive, and plan carefully.
It truly requires, well, a clear understanding of your desired lifestyle first. Then, an aggressive yet efficient saving strategy that really maximizes those tax-advantaged accounts.
Yeah, the pensions and ISAs.
And, crucially, a smart approach to drawing down your assets tax efficiently once you're in retirement. The cornerstones, as we've seen from Plouta's guide, are maximizing workplace and personal pensions and making full use of that tax-free ISA allowance to bridge that crucial gap until the state pension begins.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? Well, embarking on this journey to early retirement demands focus, discipline, and often some sacrifice.
It does.
The freedom and time it unlocks can be an incredible life-changing reward. The path, as we've discussed today, truly starts with a clear, personalized plan.
And maybe a final thought for you to mull over. As you crunch the numbers and strategize your savings, take some time to consider not just if you can retire early, but what you would truly fill that newly found time with.
That's a great point.
That vivid vision of your ideal early retirement can be an incredibly powerful motivator for taking all the planning steps we've covered today. What's the why?
Fantastic. As part of the Plouta team, we sincerely hope this deep dive has given you valuable, actionable insights for your own financial journey. Just a reminder once more, this discussion today was based on a general guide from Plouta. Please remember that this deep dive provides general information for informational and educational purposes only.
That's right.
based on rules known as of June 2025. The value of investments can go down as well as up, and tax and pension laws are complex and subject to change.
Always changing.
So, this does not constitute financial advice. Always seek professional, regulated financial advice tailored to your specific circumstances before making any significant retirement decisions.
Please do.
If you found this discussion helpful, please like it, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe so you don't miss our next exploration. We'd also love for you to join our financial wellness community. Drop your comments below about this guide or maybe any other financial products or topics you'd like us to review. We're truly here to empower you on your financial path. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll be back soon with more insights to help you stay well informed.